Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review episode number 6. Yep, this one I'm reviewing episodes 20 to 22. Yes, these episodes pretty much finish adapting book 7, and they start adapting book 8. Well, with episode 22 they do that. 2021 is simply this. The Battle with the White Whale. Yep, where we pick up exactly where episode 19 left off, where everybody's simply fighting the white whale. Wilhelm basically decides to jump up in the air and basically slice at this thing like freaking crazy. At one point, taking a sword and slicing right to the top of this damn thing. Also, taking pretty much of slicing of it, destroying one of its eyes and chopping one of its fins. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal battle. They did lose, and they lost 21 people in this battle, which I think is about the same amount they lost in the book. And eventually the creature is defeated by having a giant tree dropped on it. Yes, a giant tree killed the white whale. Though prior to that, they think that, oh yeah, there's only one white whale. Nope, there's actually 3. But nope, that's just something that was created by the actual white whale, which is actually high above in the air. Yep, and it was... Now, here's the thing. They do in fact do the whole return by death thing, but it's used differently here. Because when I read these books, the whole thing of him when he did before, whenever he died, he would restart back 4 days. This time, that didn't happen. Nope, he actually controlled it. First time he uses it when he's basically riding on the back of a land dragon with Rem, and he says death by return by death, and he returns like just like that really quickly, like he moves, and he does it again while he's in the air. And look if he's saved before he hits the ground. Though he's saved when he lands in a very soft place. He lands his face in Rem's breast, and she doesn't blush. It's probably because she likes it, because she's in love with him. Yep. Though she herself is injured in the fight, I mean, she's able to survive, and she's at one point able to take out her demon horn without going freaking nuts about it. Yeah, last time she did draw her horn, she went crazy. This time she's able to control it, which is quite good for her. And of course, eventually the creature's defeated. Of course, Rem, of course, is injured. And they actually do change the dialogue here of where Rem kind of tricks Subaru in the book. Basically, she tricked him to reveal that he basically had a thing for her, like saying "I love you." But in the anime, it's slightly different. It's like, yeah, you kind of admit it, but yeah. And that's last year Rem, because if I remember from the books, she actually is absent for the next couple books. Yeah, unknown why she's absent, but she is. Yeah, and eventually, like, they defeating the white whale. Kurus basically thanks Subaru for all this, and Wilhelm thanks him for helping defeat the white whale. And of course, she gives titles the hero who defeated the white whale, though via strategy, him being basically running in front of the damn thing. She takes, of course, Kurus takes the wounded and the corpse of the white whale back to the capital for compensation. Yep, and then Kurus leaves some forces with him, with Subaru, to deal with the witch's cult. Now, they do not have, in the book, basically, this is a meeting of witch skull hunting made simple. That's what they call it in the manga, in basically the book, basically, that this episode's based on. Here, they don't mention it here, they might mention it a bit later, but yeah, that's the name of what this meeting is called. And one thing he does not mention is basically who takes out the Archbishop Portugas, which I'm quite surprised they didn't mention that. It's like they cut that out for some reason. Yeah, and Julius, who's actually here, making his first appearance in the anime since the end of, like, the adaptation of what was the end of book 4, which I think it was episode number 13. Yeah, so it's been like, at this point, it's been almost 10 episodes since his last appeared. So, he shows up to be first called by Jules, and him and Subaru do politely reconcile while on the way to deal with the witch's cult. Apparently, the 2 people who work with... Like, get to the damn thing. Yeah, they are very happy the fact to take on the witch's cult. So, Subaru just walks up to the area. He mentions, oh, this is like just finding an insect in a very tough place. And he just happens to come across the witch's cult really easily. And he says, my business is not with you, it's with your boss, and they politely leave. He walks up, talks to Portuguese again. Yeah, he's here, he does his usual thing of Like where he bites his own fingers. I'm like, why the heck does he have a fetish for biting his own fingers? He is freaking nuts. And he shows up his gospel. You have this gospel. You probably give love. It's like the way that Ty Hepburn plays him. It's like he's doing an impersonation of Brother Love. Yeah. But he's not saying, I love you. Yeah, he's not saying that, but it seems like it's a similar interpretation to that. That's just from my perspective, because I've seen some footage of Brother Love. Yeah, if you don't know who Brother Love is, he's played by Bruce Pritchard, who was one of the big backstage officials for WWE throughout the 80s and 90s, and somewhat of the 2000s, though he was recently brought back as of about last year, I think it was, after Eric Bischoff got fired. Yeah. Excuse me, as the executive director of SmackDown. I know what he's doing now because it's not me mentioned a lot in some news. I mean, Paul Heyman gets mentioned, but not him. But anyways, yep, and he talks in it for a little bit. Of course, he dodges his unseen hands, which I'm glad they kept this in the book. The fact that he's able to see the unseen hands. Like, wait, you can see the unseen hands? He's like, yep. And then like, oh wait, yeah. By the way, there's someone here who would like to have war with you. And here goes Wilhelm jumping right on. And of course, first we have like the cat sibling destroy the entrance to. I think this is the one of the bases for the witches cult, and steals some members in. And of course, Wilhelm comes down, chops Porteous in half, and yeah, he's dead. Of course, Silver takes his book. Of course, they rummage through his belongings. They apparently find a little ball in one of his pockets. And of course, Silver is like, wait, is he really dead? And when the cat's like, yeah, let's make sure of that. By incinerating his freaking body. And they go back, and they're back there for less than, I'd say, a couple minutes. And then all of a sudden, the unseen hands show up, killing a few people. And of course, Subaru confronting, of course, being taken by the replacement, which, yes, this is from the book as well, where it's a woman. Yes, a woman. Of course, she talks the usual way. Now, this woman is not... It sounded like this woman was doing a impersonation. I don't know if Ty Hepburn voiced this one. I know Portuguese was voiced by him. But I don't think he voices this woman at all. Probably it's someone who does similar voice to him. So, goes freaking nuts. Does the usual thing of biting her fingers. Of course, before Portuguese died, he actually was bleeding from his eyes. Like, ugh, like what the heck? This guy is like way over the top. I mean, I like his performance, but I don't like the disgusting things he does. And apparently the woman's picked up his habits, like biting her fingers to the point where her fingers are like freaking bloody. Which we have the skin. I'm like, really? Is this necessary? Like, I don't remember her doing this book this much. And so eventually, this woman is killed. And of course, he's apologized for the deaths, and they ride back to basically evacuate. Of course, they also send a message to the Mathis mansion to evacuate the place and the village. And of course, Anastasia hired some merchants, though they would agree to be paid by Roswell himself, which he does make an appearance here. So we see briefly Emilia briefly appear in, I think it was episode 21, where she just goes to her room, sits on her bed, talks to Puck for a bit, and that's all you see of her. Yep, and then the 22 ends, like basically Ferris mentions Silver, he should really make up with Julius. Of course, he mentioned him before, where he just basically admits that yeah, he hates his guts, and he accepts that, and he's somewhat reconciled with him. But he should fully, and he's about to talk to him again, though this seems like very forced. And then he's like whisked away to a road where nobody is around. And then the episode ends with an appearance by Ram's sister. Why she's there? I'll find out next episode. Yes, even though, yes, I have read book 8. But I'm going to save that for next episode. I got handed to this episode, these set episodes. They did book 7 really well. That's about like they actually got some dialogue here. That's most of what they got, some dialogue. Mostly put visually, it pretty much depicts like the book really well, and I think like what they did for here was really good. Though it's interesting, they actually started out with book 8. Yeah, I'll talk more about books 8, the episodes of book 8 and 9, in episode 7. Okay, I know it's a bit shorter than usual, but that's basically reviewing 3 episodes for you. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this particular review. stay tuned soon for my review of the last 3 episodes of the season. And of course, eventually I hopefully get a chance to do the OVA and the other stuff for the series, okay? But see you next video. Bye.